Hi everyone, this is Ramalinga Prasad Kuppa. Welcome to my channel, Pharma World. Today's topic is Lean GMP. Lean GMP is a strategy to reduce cumbersome, over-interpreted, and overdone practices. This strategy would help the industry to optimize the operations for effective error-free compliance. Let us see what is Lean GMP. Optimum sizing of GMP is called Lean GMP. Optimum sizing is not compromising on practices. It is an effective reduction of overdone practices. It is the right sizing of the GMP compliance and move towards lean GMP systems while still adhering to the regulations. Lean GMP or right GMP will support the requirements for ever increasing pressure to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and minimize costs for pharmaceutical manufacturing. This precisely is the reason for moving towards lean GMP. Unnecessary manufacturing processes can inflate costs multifold and reduce efficiency by some shortcuts that could have adverse impact on good manufacturing practices. It is a balanced, right approach to ensure that quality and compliance to good manufacturing practices are never compromised. So, it is an effective way of compliance without any compromise on quality of the manufacturing process. Manufacturing includes all activities from start to finish. This is very important to understand. Manufacturing process includes all processes from receipt of inputs, quarantine, sampling, testing, production, holding, distribution, customer services, etc. Production is a part of manufacturing. So it is a start to finish of all activities within the four walls of the manufacturing site. Let us look into various approaches. Risk-based approach, adopting the recommendations of the Quality Risk Management Guide ICH-Q9 is the best approach for Lean GMP. This is the most effective and scientific way of evaluating the existing practices system. The correct and comprehensive evaluation will lead to several solutions for improving the manufacturing processes. There are 9 evaluation tools prescribed in the ICH-Q9 guidelines. Potential uses of each tool is also the part of each risk tool. It should be understood well for best results. Each step of the manufacturing process, not just production process, should be captured and the potential risk should be identified. So carefully capture all the steps in a tabular form. Never miss any activity. Let it be even a minor activity. The evaluation alone will conclude on its seriousness, on the harm that step could create to the process. The detailed tabular form should consist of the name of the process, serial number of the activity, identification of potential risk, impact rating, and mitigation plan. The risk identified should be classified qualitatively or quantitatively for the risk rating, that is high, moderate, and low. The evaluation could be qualitative and or quantitative. Qualitative evaluation could be classified as high risk, moderate risk, or low risk. This is the precise prescription of FMEA tool. Quantitative evaluation is done based on the rating of the risk on severity of risk, probability of happening of the risk, and the detectability of the risk. Here, there will be a scoring for risk classification. This is the prescription of FMECA. For all practical purposes, the outcome of both FMEA and FMECA is same. For FMEA, you have qualitative reference, whereas for FMECA, it is decided based on the score. So, FMEA, when evaluated using a score for criticality, it refers to FMECA. In the FMECA word, C stands for criticality, the score obtained by multiplying the score for severity, probability, and detectability. That is the SPD cycle. Continuous improvement. PDCA cycle approach is another way for achieving Lean GMP. This is another approach. Six Sigma approach is the best way. The evaluation will take you through the present system and potential improvements. Plan, do, check, act, that is PDA cycle, basically revolves around the identification of potential improvements, implement the plan identified, check for the results as expected, and act to standardize the process. Each process should be selected that needs attention. Collect adequate information and set measurable, scientific, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals for improvement. Involve the personnel concerned with the particular activity. After finalization of the plan, implement the proposed change. Train the participants adequately on the new revised procedure. Check and evaluate the results of the activity for the expected results or outcome. Finally, standardize the revised improved process to ensure the improvements are consistent across. Statistical evaluation of data generated will help identifying the potential improvements. CP, CPK, MR charts, X bar charts, scatter diagrams, Pareto charts, etc. This is the most efficient and scientific way of evaluation. CP value provides the information on the spread of the process data relative to the specification limits. CPK value provides also the location, whether it is centered or not, for the process average relative to the specification limits. This is the process capability index. MR chart provide information on how the range is changing from one set to the other. X bar chart provides information on average values. Combination of MR charts and X bar charts will provide great information on the process to help to focus on the improvements. Pareto charts or scatter diagrams also provide very useful information to focus on improvements for Lean GMP. Employee training. The employees should have comprehensive knowledge on the activity they are assigned to. Employee training is one of the critical aspects to focus on Lean GMP. The employee must be well trained to understand the process completely with all intricate details. The intent of the procedure should be understood well by the employee so that they can contribute for improvements with a focus on Lean GMP strategy. For this, the SOP should be clearly written. Hydraulics, Volume 4, Chapter 4, Section 4.4 prescribes in a very clear terms on how to draft the procedure in an imperative mandatory style. By practice, this style can be easily adopted. The training should include basic requirements of GMP and on job knowledge to carry out the job effectively without error. So, the basic GMP requirements should be known to all employees. On job training should be done by a practical approach on benchtop. Hands on training on the equipment is necessary. All intricate controls, its impact on the process should be known very well. Training may be repeated if there were any changes to the system or equipment. The employee should be encouraged to suggest improvements in the process for better results continuously. The routine shop floor operator is the best person to suggest any modifications for Lean GMP strategy. So, it is necessary to encourage with appreciation letters or even small rewards so that the employee involves continuously in the improvement process for Lean GMP. The employee should feel the ownership and responsibility of the activity that is carried out. This should be the ultimate goal of the organization on well trained employees. Optimizing the documentation. The SOP should be simple and restricted only to the title of the procedure. This is the right approach. If the procedure is just limited to the small title, it is easier to read and understand carefully. If the SOP is too lengthy with compound and complex sentences, the reader would find it difficult to read and understand. For example, there is a big SOP titled Receipt, Quarantine, Sampling, and Dispensing. See the scope of this title. Entire warehouse procedures are captured in one single SOP of, say, about 50 pages, in which the text is paraphrased from the guideline. It is very difficult for a normal IQ person to understand in total. Instead, Make one SOP for receipt, one for quarantine, one for sampling, and one for dispensing, linking each SOP sequentially. This would make the understanding of the content easily. So keep the SOPs simple and separate. Group the SOPs into different classifications, critical, major, and minor categories. This is one of the strategies to handle SOPs. The critical SOPs may be reviewed once a year, major SOPs once in 3 years, and 5 years for minor and non critical SOPs for which there is no change at all for several years. See section 6.11 of ICH Q7, which says the issuance, revision, superseding, and withdrawal of all documents should be controlled with maintenance of revision histories. It does not prescribe to have review date on each SOP. There could be a provision in the document control SOP to classify the SOPs as described earlier and review accordingly and make a consolidated record of document review and revision. Even there could be a provision that if there is no change at all for any procedure, the original effective date is still valid. If all these provisions are made in the document control procedure, load on documentation will come down significantly. Appropriate SOPs should have reference to the link with other necessary procedures. As explained earlier, if you make a linking note at the end of the SOP for receipt as refer to so and so procedure with ID number for quarantine, the reader will know what the next step is. Same strategy for any SOP with a link to the necessary next procedure. There should not be repetitive entries, transcriptions in records. Transcriptions of data from one location to the other for any calculations or any other use, it can lead to wrong entries in many cases inadvertently. Automated data transfer is the best option wherever possible. Restrict manual entries. This will control errors in many manual stressful entries for several hours for continuous monitoring of certain process steps for temperature and humidity, etc. Technology utilization. This will avoid greatly manual errors and effective time utilization. Artificial intelligence AI based technology will greatly help to design effective Lean GMP technology in production. QC testing distribution network will track the product and services faster than the manual operated system. Maximum possible documentation should be monitored through digital tracking. Batch genealogy can be achieved through digital monitoring. The genealogy could get the information on all inputs, outputs at each stage of manufacture, its quality attributes, and approval status with just a click. Data evaluation should be carried out through automated statistical evaluation tools.
This is important. Jotting down data in an Excel sheet and consider it as data evaluation is not an acceptable practice. The data should be evaluated for several statistical tools for evaluating the history of the product. The Excel spreadsheet has lots of statistical tools to use. Benchmarking should be done looking at and understanding the other companies' strategies and practices to optimize GMP compliance. This obviously is to compare with the leader in the market and follow them for better results and be in the race as a market leader. Finally, let us see the intent of Lean GMP. It is a strategy to optimize the good manufacturing practices of pharmaceuticals. This is a strategy to use technology and other relevant aspects to practice a lean GMP to save resources and costs. The end result of optimization should be cost effectiveness, error free, faster results, resource savings, and time savings. So, this should be the end result of lean GMP. This can be achieved with meticulous understanding of the process and involvement of all concerned. This is the critical part of designing appropriate lean GMP. The employee should feel the ownership of the process and involve fully, honestly, to achieve the advantage of the lean GMP. I hope that this brief outlook of lean GMP strategy for pharmaceutical manufacturing is understood well. Try to review your existing QMS and GMP systems and check if there is any potential to shift to lean GMP strategy and get better results for pharmaceutical manufacturing. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do subscribe, like, and share. Also, please leave a message in the comments box for any further support. Thank you.